Can't Beat Radio. Sunday, February 8th. All right, welcome to the Please Subscribe show. It's February 8th. We're headed to Walmart. Here's Linda. Officially going to Aldi's first. So.
Yay! That's a luxury.
See if we can find some turkey meat at Aldi's. Alright, so at Aldi's you can get an actual, this is the Criano spinach and cheese. I think we're gonna put it in a box. If you wanna save a quarter, then you just, it adds up after time. Probably in hundreds of dollars through the year if you shop here every day. Oh, I do appreciate it sincerely. Thank you so much. I was just looking. Okay, I see. That's a bunch of them. All right, thank you so much.
I was trying to get a box for like vegetables and stuff. I said, trying to get a box.
We could go with maybe, that one might be good for now. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little small box. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see, there's another one. Here's one, maybe. I don't want to destroy your project. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, this will work. Here, for right now.
Oh, all right.
Just put it in here. All right. Thanks. $2.85 for Texas seasoned tortilla. That might be good. $1.99 for the rounds. I don't know. Are you going to the vegetable or wheat? I guess she's going with vegetable. All right.
Chips, dear.
$2.85. It's 20 ounces.
That's $2.85.
It's a new thing. It's right over here. It's seasoned. They're like seasoned tortilla chips for $2.85. I'm going with them.
Oh, that's a good size.
And it's a good size. It's like a family size.
Yeah, that's a good size.
$2.45 for jelly. So we're going with Swiss for $1.69. You want to do a block of it?
Well, I can put it on crackers, but you have to make sure you don't.
So do a block of it. It's cheaper.
Yeah, do a block because it's cheaper, 8 ounces.
Okay.
Versus
So
shredded.
you get more with a block.
It's still 8 ounces, but it's cheaper.
Oh, you get the same amount, but you're paying less.
Yes, but you have to make sure you don't.
Right.
You have to make sure you slice and cut it.
Right. Okay.
Cut the cheese.
That's good. Get the sliced provolone.
Or Munster. Ooh, how about Colby Jack?
That's good. $1.49.
Do you have 2 cheeses for the road? Come on. Well, this comes out cheaper.
$3.09 for oven classic. What'd you find? They have some gills. I mean, that's way off. They have some deals on some of the frozen. As if they were in the fish market. They have gills in the fish market, but they do have deals along this aisle, which is like the frozen aisle. Everything from vegetables, meals, seafood, poultry, and beef. And then way down there, they have breakfast, fruit, and desserts. Sometimes they have things reduced for just a couple dollars too. 39 cents? What is it?
Instead of $1.29. For Aqua Max
for hydration.
20 ounce.
So it's $3 for the turkey here, which is actually really good turkey meat. But for $4.15, for $1 more, you get a whole pound of honey smoked breast white turkey. That stuff's about the same. $1.69. You get some dill. Oh, that's dip spread. Fresh craving pepperoni pizza hot honey. There's the hot honey pepperoni pizza, but there's also this dip spread smokehouse burnt ends. We might switch to that one. It's only $1.79. Aldi fines. How much?
$9.99, 3 pounds.
$10 for chicken breast nuggets.
Pinko.
What's it called? Panko?
Pinko. Breadcrumbs. Oh, look at the heart-shaped pizza. Maybe those be discounted after Valentine's.
Valentine's. Look at that. And for the outdoor kitties, they'll, appreciate this stuff. They'll really eat anything. They're kind of GOATs. Gotta be quick, because if you don't stand your ground, other people will get your spot.
I know. What's traffic like out there? Rolling Lane West or Silverville?
Yeah.
West, 1769.
All right. Looks like we'll go a little further this way. There we go. Okay. Right on time, Linda. The first time in about 5 years. She got it right. Right at Aldi's. We got it at Aldi's. That was the first time Linda hit her mark. 5 years. That's a lot of training. All right, we're on our way. All right, we're heading in. Pick up a few supplies and maybe some lunch meat. What are you going to get, sweetie?
You already bought lunch meat.
Oh, then what are we getting?
Chicken breast.
Oh, chicken breast could be lunch meat. And then we'll head back.
I don't know. Albertsons might have it for $1.99. Might wait till tomorrow.
What, the chicken breast?
Yeah. Sometimes you get it in the butcher.
Yeah, we still got to get supply. All right. First, how much are their avocados? All right. Looks like Valentine craziness. Lots of love and happiness. I win in the form of balloons. And it goes all the way across here. Feliz de Valentine, you and me. Coming up on the 14th. I'm gonna get some Reese's caramel cups right here. Man, my goodness. $35 teddy bear. Blue lavender axe. When we buy that, that means you lost. So when we purchase that, if we ever do, for any reason, it means that you're losing rather than winning. You're looking for meatballs?
Meatballs. Any other good deals?
Gotta beat the copyright.
Super Bowl. surprised how busy Walmart is, considering the Super Bowl's about to start. But people don't care.
Echoes, I remember those days. Looks like you got some ice cream sandwiches right next to the Drano. We got some taquitos. We've got the ice cream sandwich next to the Drano.
All right, let's see. I think meatballs are.
At least we did the spinach.
This is what, $8?
Now, this is what we're looking for here. Meatballs, 7 Yeah, they're a little less, meaning they're cost less, but there's less per ounce. It's one ounce. What is it? Oh, here it is. 18 ounces as opposed to 32. Yeah, they're getting way more right here for bigger banger for the buck. Bigger banger for the buck right there. That's still $8.47. We're gonna wait for we're gonna get them at Albertsons, but anyway. Tops are 96 cents, and those are, I believe, 84.87. Here, that one was a direct hit. The other one will come from here. You can hear it starting this way. Usually they have a follow-up. He may be solo, which is very dangerous. So he'll usually have a buddy that will take off this way. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds to do that type of zoom. Try some of this freshly craving dip spread. Yeah, it does me here. And you can get it at Aldi's. All right, let's give her a try. These seasoned chips. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It goes pretty good with a turkey sandwich with Colby Jack, bell pepper, and spinach. Nothing but nachos, baby. Nothing but nacho stuff. It's going to the 20-yard line. Oh, the 10, it's in the mouth. Touchdown! If that was something that happened. I can't tell if that's paramedics. It looks like maybe that's the same officers that were at QT. Oh, she's on her knees, and like there's something definitely is going on right there.
And a bunch of bottled water?
Yeah. Looks like bottled water. She was like on her knees. All right. It is a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th, 2026, 6:37. The Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. It looks like the Seattle Seahawks are up by 2 field goals, so they're 6 and the New England Patriots are at 0. So it's 6-0 favoring the Seattle Seahawks. Jason Myers, the kicker, was able to get the first score of the NFL 60th Super Bowl, the LX. L stands for 50, X stands for 10 for the numerals, and that's Super Bowl 60. It's going on right now. I'll try to occasionally, look at Google and see, they'll post who made the touchdown, things like that, and I'll try to do that a little bit, maybe, depending on how busy they are. All right, this is part of the show. You get to watch me pick up food at restaurants and drop it off at your doorstep. I'll also be listening to KRLD. That's the official station that broadcasts the Super Bowl 60.
On that, and we'll keep
That's what they're doing right now. They're kind of like talking about different things. I don't know if there's one where it's play-by-play, but this is probably the one, the home of the NFL playoff. Well, it says playoffs and Super Bowl.
What if your instincts?
So we'll kind of occasionally look at that, and I may scan through some other channels to see if I find something else. All right, so welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. I'm Cole Spivey. Hi, hello, I'm Cole Spivey. Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. Please subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notifying bell and a big thumbs up. All right? This is going to be the NFL 60th Super Bowl, and we're going to be picking up food and dropping it off at your doorstep. I imagine that people, maybe they can't get to other people's refrigerators, so they're going to order some food, probably. Man, I'm hungry, but I just don't want to raid my I'm a guest here, and I don't want to raid the refrigerator, so I'll get something, and I'll press the food app, and that's when I'll be on my way. All right, so we're going to see how things are and get to crunching.
With the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help armed men and women returning.
De Vos will close February 15th. Hairspray, February 28th through March 8th. Casa Mañana. 7-Eleven ID check, 6:51, 5 minutes, 2 miles for delivery. All right, 7:07, 12 minutes, 4.3 for the 7-Eleven delivery.
Time stories, but they just.
All right, looks like we got one at Van Leeuwen Ice Cream. Arrival will be at 7:27, and it's about 70 feet. Kind of pull up on it. Now we're at about 50 feet, 40 feet. It's about 2 cars length, about 40 feet. All right, boys, think of this. A truck like this averages about 20 feet in length. The vehicle, 16.5 on average when it comes to feet. So right here is roughly 20 feet. I'd say here, 20 to 25 feet. See where the ice cream is right there on the stand? It's about right there. That's gonna be 40 feet. Beyond that, it's another 10 feet. So we're looking at about maybe 50 to 60 feet from right here to there. We got 20 feet. There would probably be that's a little more than 20. So that's 20. That's gonna be 50 feet probably. So the whole thing is probably about 60 feet. Like this. That's gonna be 16 feet, 20 feet. Another 10, 30, 35, about 40 feet. Keep on going. There's 50 feet, 60. There's probably closer to 70 feet, maybe. All the way there. Say 65 feet. Winter Wednesday, you buy 2, get 1 free. This store comes out of New York, too. Got cinnamon what is that? Cinnamon caramel apple, which looks pretty good. And Winter Wednesdays, kids eat for free. Van Leeuwen on the way, 7:52, 17 minutes, 13 miles. Make a report right here. Just to make sure everything's okay right there. Both ends, probably so. All right. So we gotta get this ice cream for the NFL. I'll check in right now and see what's going on. Sometimes it's a little difficult, but we'll see if we can. Usually it's available. We'll have to see how it's feeling. All right, so I'll be the radio for now, but sometimes it's available. Right now, it's not, but it is other times. Okay, so here we go. The Seattle Seahawks are up by 9, so they have 3 field goals. Jason Myers is probably gonna get, he's gonna get probably a free pass to Disney World, so they're pretty happy. Seattle Seahawks, usually after they win the Super Bowl, they go to the Walt Disney World or Disneyland. So Jason Myers has got those 3 for the Seattle Seahawks, so they're up by 9. And New England Patriots are down. This is probably going into the second quarter. All right, radio became available. Don't ask me why. There's probably a reason for all of this stuff. It's pretty technical. It's like sometimes it's available, then sometimes it's not. But it is available now. So we go into radio. Okay, we just can't see it. Right. So the reason why is because there is such thing called radio injection. Now, there's all these different hacking devices it probably could freeze data, as in Apple CarPlay. Usually it's probably radio is maybe one of the ways. That's why it goes in and out of being unavailable. So if that's what they're targeting from a distance, they would target, because see, I'm hitting mode, and when you hit mode, that switches it automatically to the radio. I talked about this in earlier vlogs a long time ago. It happened to me a few times at the Texas Motor Speedway. But radio is one of the keys. So that's why it's intermittent. And I'm using the radio for tonight, which is basically getting information on the Super Bowl. I looked up something called radio injection. It's kind of a term. It's called a buzzword in the media, radio injection. So they probably do this to different cars. They would go through the radio. So we'll keep an eye on that. The complete buzzword is radio signal injection. And it is used by hackers and things like that. They see this field, even though it's not like, there's not a lot of millionaires doing it, not yet. or there may be, I don't know, depending on how they do it. They could have Patreons and things like that. There are millionaires on YouTube for sure, but what I'm saying is this type of field that I am, which I'm kind of secretive with, I don't really talk about that much anymore because of other things that happened to Linda and I. It basically is competitive for certain different reasons. You're not going to go off and make 6 figures working platform, but it can lead to other things. It's a leeway to other things. It certainly is with me, which I'm going completely confidential about another avenue. So I'm going completely, not even talk about it. Not even, no more than that. But I am looking at different hacking devices and things like that to find out what was going on. And I was messing with the radio tonight, and look, no sticky poo. It'll inject a radio frequency. I know this sounds like I'm paranoid, but the radio frequency will look like that for the Kia. It'll say feature currently unavailable. You hit radio again, and eventually, when this sticks, okay, because they keep injecting the radio signal until it sticks. When it finally sticks, this will transfer over to radio. It'll become available on radio, and you go back to media again, and it unsticks. But you have to keep an eye on it. It's one thing that you have to watch. Usually in work, you always have to watch something. When I was a bank teller, you had to watch people in masks walk up to the, to your station. You had to watch, like, okay, that person's wearing a mask. Well, maybe they're sick. They didn't allow Halloween masks. They would tell them to take off the Halloween mask. Now, when COVID is over, they probably do tell them to take down the flu mask. They may not because of how COVID is. That was one thing we had to watch, right? And things like this, we have to watch for radio injection, radio signal injection. That means it's connected, and it's whoever's doing it is signaling the radio signal, injecting the radio signal into the car until it freezes it. When it freezes it, what happens? They can't do it to the phone unless they have the encryption codes, which they do not have the Apple encryption codes. They better not. It is more convenient. You can see clearly, but when it does do it, you can, and it's too annoying. You can always just switch over to the phone. They can't get through the phone. But I just was reading about it 2 seconds ago about radio signal injection. It goes along with the USB malware, because they can do malware through USB. They used to do it at certain banks and stuff like that. They would set the flash card, or what's called a thumb drive, and someone would go, and put it in the computer, and then they could hold the computer ransom and ask for money, because they could try to erase all the accounts. These things really do go on. Another thing, another avenue is through Wi-Fi, like at gas stations and things like that. We know they've been doing that for years, because you can go to a Starbucks and all of a sudden they try to go through your computer if you don't have proper, VNP security or proper hacking security. They can try to sneak around in your computer. Another way they can do it, which they did to my mom, is on Foxfire. They used to put these little advertisements, and you would basically tap on them, and it would be like a program that would go on the phone to pretty much look like your computer was seized, even though it wasn't. It was almost like a video thing that would go off on the computer and say your computer is being hacked. You have so many seconds to call this number. Well, my mom was so naive, she called the number to the hacker, and the hacker got access to the computer. And they're saying, well, yes, we can fix the computer, no problem. And it was pretending like they were Apple. And then they got into the bank accounts and started creating an IRA or something. And my mom slammed the computer down. And if she wouldn't have done that, then the phone call wouldn't have ended, and they would have taken everything. We'd have been in a lot of trouble. I told her to call the FBI too. because those hackers are pretty dangerous. I don't know if she ever called the FBI, but radio signal injection is an issue that you have to watch. And I finally just got fed up, and I went and I bought this Beats cord. It does work better. It works almost 100%. It's way better than the Pure Gear, which now I only use to charge another device. So radio signal injection is actually a real thing, and I don't know how far it can reach, and I don't know how they do it. Like, I don't know where it's coming from and why they would do it. All I know is that this thing acts funny all the time, and when it sticks, it becomes what's known as deceiving, because you think you're going in this direction when you're actually like, well, which direction am I going on? So it can be traced, though, because the person that would be hacking would know about the radio signal frequency, or the radio signal injection is the buzzword. Buzzword means a word coming up. They do the same thing with cameras in front of your house. Like if you have a doorbell camera, they can bring a high frequency device that will jam your Wi-Fi and scramble your camera. They do it all the time, unless you have an encrypted Wi-Fi. And there's many companies that do have encrypted Wi-Fi. So we're coming up to security gate right now. So security companies are going to grow because hacking has become more sophisticated since when people first got Wi-Fi. So these cameras, Ring and Nest, they're always connected to Wi-Fi, and they're always being fed. How else are they going to feed to your phone? So if you have a company that has encrypted Wi-Fi, a security company that has encrypted Wi-Fi, then how would you lose out on that? That would just be, you know, a big ordeal to never be able to get your packages if you were a target. And Nest and Ring are targets now. A lot of people do go with them, but they don't. They realize it later. I'm waiting to see what it's going to do, but I can tell what I have a feeling I know what it does. Is when this is happening, it means it's probably getting the signal, the radio signal. Because I can go like this and get the radio signal very easily. We built something different. So it looks like that, and then that's the backup, right? And then back to radio. Then what I can do is I can take this cord
when your
here,
financial life becomes more complex,
which is a C,
your advice should
plug
be
it in
coordinated, not
here,
fragmented.
basically.
One plan,
Plug it into the
trusted
phone.
Team. Call Trajan today,
Like that.
469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500. Trajan.
It'll read the USB, and it'll switch over to the program out of radio, and there's the radio. That is obviously still on the radio. Searching stations right now. So they definitely affect one another. It has some form of connection to this device here. And it'll intermittently work. So it works sometimes, and then sometimes we're right by a pretty big radio station right now. Now, if they lock in somehow through the radio, which is how they do it, you can pick up radio signals pretty much anywhere in the world. You can't necessarily pick up Wi-Fi signals anywhere in the world, but you can pick up radio signals anywhere in the world. So they find out, I guess, your particular connection on the radio. They search you out. They inject this radio signal injection. And then all of a sudden, your Apple CarPlay sticks. Then basically what you do, You activate, well, you just do what I just showed you. You can do that, or you can do another thing, just like you can slam the computer shut on your laptop if you accidentally granted permission to a hacker to surf your, like my mom did on accident a long time ago. She granted permission to someone that was not part of Apple. It was a false technician, basically a hacker. And then she, had to slam the laptop down to disengage the phone call. It's kind of like a phone call. It's remote access to your computer kind of thing. The same thing that they're doing right here. Another thing I'm going to try, there's like several different ways to do it, because I was messing with Sales Rabbit. Okay, that means it reconnected. See, it reconnected. That's my old address. And then it's connected. So that definitely is it's like a start switch over, whatever you call it. It's like basically a switch. The switch is back over. Also, they play a big key in it too sometimes. I noticed, because they have Wi-Fi boosters. That's a different thing than radio, though. They also deal with radio too. It's a whole different story. But radio usually it should always be working. At least you're getting a radio signal injection. There's media. Yeah, that means it's active. So it goes back and forth. I've been kind of exploring this. There it goes again. Did it stick? Yeah. All right. So let me explore some other things, because I was able to block some of it through Sales Rabbit.
Well, they're going to fold in there and just tried to run right at the Seahawks. That didn't work. Drake May, they had the 3 sacks in the first half. He's getting a little jumpy just based on that. And remember, we've had the history.
What it is, ultimately, is it gets pretty distracting. But reset it, and there he was right there. I have noticed when police are around, I don't know, I mean, it could be because they're receiving so many signals, but I have noticed when they're around that it does that too. But also that the radio signals are different wherever you go when you travel. You can unplug and plug back in, unplug and plug back in. Another way is you can just hit the radio or wait for the radio signal injection to basically finish. And then you basically, it'll reset. That's what I've noticed tonight. So it'll stick, and then you wait, you hit radio, and when the radio goes back through, sometimes it'll say unavailable. But usually that means it's already working. You can see now. And it's back. And so far the length of time that's worked has been more since I've been able to access a radio.
And they seem to have them figured out. So Drake May is frustrated. I think Drake May is hearing footsteps. I think that's the New England side of things. Seattle really should have at least 2 touchdowns in this game, and this game should maybe be 20-0, but it's not. It's 12-0, and they are at least staying in the game. Now, in terms of will this game go down in history as a game that people loved because it was a defensive battle? Right now, the defenses are playing great. I'm not saying they're not, but what I am saying is that Darnold's had opportunity to make plays, key plays, and he's missed a couple of throws. And I think May has had an opportunity to make a couple of throws, even though Seattle's defense has been very, very good, and he hasn't made those throws. And then in the second half, the one thing is that, and Darnold just got sacked. And this might be the drive that the Patriots need. Milton Williams, who won the Super Bowl last year with the Eagles, gets a sack on Darnold inside the 10-yard line. This is a huge drive for New England, because if they can keep Seattle about where they are right now, they should get some really good field position, and maybe they can turn that into something. And even, say, a field goal for New England could just give them some confidence, and let alone a touchdown. If New England were somehow stop Seattle here, get good field position, come down somehow, make a big play, as I've been talking. By the punter, so that's a big play. There's a flag. That would have been a big play. Looks like it might be a holding call, but that might have been a big play for New England and the type of play they need to get back in this game. It looks like there's going to be a block in the back. Yeah, there's a block in the back right at the beginning of that return. So negate that for New England. By the way, let's pull back the curtain a little bit here. So during the last break, after Jason Myers makes that field goal, I raced to my phone to look at what the odds were for Jason Myers to be the MVP, since he's got all the points. Now it's probably going to be Ken Walker, to be honest, because he's over 100 yards. He's basically been the offense for Seattle. New England's had no offense. So I just race over just for the heck of it and throw a couple of bucks on it. And at that point, it was plus 1,200. And so then by the time I was able to hit my button, I said, plus 1,200, that's not bad. By the time I hit my button, it was plus 800. All you scoundrels went to your phones and we all at the same time had the same idea, which was, oh, Jason Myers is going to be MVP. And by the way, hey, Stu, let me bring you in here. If a kicker is MVP, which, by the way, a kicker has never been MVP. The only special teams player that's been an MVP is Desmond Howard for the Packers against, ironically enough, the Patriots. But if a kicker is MVP, and by the way, Mark Mosley of the Reds.
Some things I'm exploring, okay? So intermittently, it'll allow you to use the radio and Apple CarPlay. I was doing it earlier. It'll usually show the radio signal right up here. When it sticks and you're able to access the radio, that means that the radio signal injection has completed. And then you go back to media and it'll work again. I'm trying to figure out ways to do it without actually having to unplug. Another way is to access another app on the phone. That kind of, I think, deters the signal if it's going through radio signal injection. And then you go back and access Apple CarPlay, which is usually an app on this monitoring system. So Kia probably needs to step up their security and fight against the radio signal injection if that's happening to some people, because usually they can find if your username, okay, so Sunday, perfect love casts out all fear, 1 John 14, usually they can find you through your username, unless you're going as a guest. So if you're on a platform and you're using your name, they can probably find you through there. They can go through the radio signal injection, and they can cause it to stick. And then what you do is you just basically wait, turn the radio on, and go back to the media again, and it'll reset. So I don't know, that's what I've been trying. I'm trying different things. And then you can try, like I was playing with Cells Rabbit and went back and looked again, and then it started working again. So it's definitely high frequency. You're driving by something that has a high frequency, or maybe it's targeting certain people, I don't know. But it's I think it's going through the radio. And I just found it out tonight because I was using the radio more often than ever. Basically, Jason Myers, Seattle Seahawks, they're at 9, and New England Patriot, I have to check on that. So last time I checked, it was 9-0, and the Seattle Seahawks are in the lead. All right, Zap Kitchen on the way, 8:17 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.5 for the pickup. So in the future, they'll probably have something where you make you know how we can report like different things on the road? You can report crash, slow down, police, construction, lane closure, object on the road, low visibility. You can also used to do potholes. I don't know why they still have potholes. Maybe Waze still does it. They may do it on your version. I'll check on the phone and see if they do that on the phone. That in the future they'll have radio signal injection, meaning that's a buzzword for hacking. And then maybe at like a gas station or something, someone could report, what's it called? Wi-Fi something. It's where they go through the Wi-Fi. I'll look for the buzzword on that. I looked at the 4 different buzzwords. One of them, USB malware. USB malware is another one. You probably wouldn't report that on it, but you're probably reporting the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth. They could try to go through the Bluetooth, or they can try to go through the radio, and they've been hitting the radio on this one big time. That's how you can tell, because that radio should always it is going to be, it will work.
Now he's got an opportunity for it. He throw it behind him. This has not been Sam. Let's put it this way: New England's got a real defense. And I'm not taking anything away from him, but this has not been Sam Darnold from the NFC Championship game at all. 3rd and 12 for Seattle, deep in their own territory, and Couple get a little bit of room for Seattle, but they're not going to get the first down. And here we go again. New England gets the ball against Seattle's defense, but Darnold's missed some throws. He missed JSN in the first half against Gonzalez on a slant that was behind him. Gonzalez knocked it away. If it's up and out, that's a touchdown. He had Cooper Kupp about 2 drives ago. They were inside the 20-yard line of New England, and he had him for a first down around the 10-yard line that could have led to a touchdown.
Live a life well lived. Okay. Let's see. We are probably going to do one that's probably further down this way. I'm talking over the copyright right now, but it's probably going to be, I think I'll do Elliot Errett, 1956, Waves Brighton, Gelton Silver. You can hear the Super Bowl going on in some of these places. Zap Kitchen, Lau, Thai Street Eats. Got it? Did you get married? Oh, okay. I'm gonna... All right, Zap Kitchen on the way, 8:43, 16 minutes, 12 miles for the delivery.
He just got a big first down there. Was it to Kupp? Yeah, it was to Kupp. Cooper Kupp just made a great catch on the sidelines. Could Cooper Kupp be the MVP for the second time? Could you imagine if Cooper Kupp coming home, he's from Eastern Washington, imagine Cooper Kupp? Because offensively, now Christian Gonzalez is limping off the field for New England, but that's a huge first down for Seattle as they get a first down now, and they're in the red zone. Cooper Kupp, great play design there. A little bit of a pick there, but they didn't call it. Maybe a little payback for the play before where it looked like it was pass interference. So Seattle now has the ball at the 16-yard line of New England, and if, about 13 and a half minutes left in this game, they get a touchdown here. Like I said, you make this thing 19-0, 1990, it'd be the same dang thing. Wide open, there you go. That's probably ball game right there. You got Sam Darnold. If you had A.J. Barner on an anytime touchdown, as I did, then you would cash that bet. Wide open, and they played such good defense. And, here's what it comes down to a lot of times, and it's not that New England's not a good defense. They are. But at some point, your defense just time after time, you're continuing to try to rely on them. And you just had Darnold get hit a wide open A.J. Barner, and this is something that we just talked about. You're going to have a break in coverage once, and that's just exactly what happened. Barner got behind the defense. Somebody didn't pick him up, and it's an easy throw and catch for A.J. Barner for a touchdown, and Seattle now is up 18-0 with 13:24 pending extra point. They go up 19-0. The only thing that I could see this, and I'm sure a lot of people ran to their phones and went shutout here with Seattle. The only thing you could see here is Seattle going to now play some soft zone, being up 19-0. If I'm Seattle, and this is one of the things that would upset me, and I don't care who wins this game, but one of the things I don't like is, especially if I'm Seattle, like if I'm a defender for the Seahawks, because now Drake May's got to throw every single time. There's no running game. So now you're pinning your ears back. So first of all, New England's got to take Will Campbell off the field. He's just too hurt. Second of all, Seattle's going to pin their ears back. And if I'm a Seattle defender, I'm going to Mike McDonald right now going, don't you dare play soft zone. Don't you dare let them get yards on us. We want to get the record for fewest yards. We want to get the record for a shutout. Nobody's been shut out in NFL. But I can guarantee you Seattle right now is looking up that clock with 13 minutes left going, first of all, we're going to win this game. I would just be aggressive at a really high level right now if I'm Seattle, and more blood in the water, because let's make this bigger and bigger and bigger. Let's make sure that they don't score, because now you can have that conversation, and we will. I got time to go, so I could screw it. But it is brought to us by our good friends at Ethos Life. It is the easy way to get life insurance. How about just 10 minutes? 10 easy minutes. So right now, Eastern time, it's 9:30. By 9:40.
Colby Jack cheese on a saltine.
I like to give credit where credit is due. People would just steal this information, but Mike reminds me that in that Ravens-Giants game, 34-7, the Giants' touchdown was a kick return, so it wasn't even an offensive touchdown. But still, it's 7 points. 7 points is 7 points, as they like to say. So right now, New England has the football at the 39-yard line, and again, Seattle's playing a little bit more spread out, so tells me that they're playing a little bit softer, which I wouldn't. But Drake made a little 6-yard run down the sidelines, and that's one of the things too. We talked about this, that maybe Drake May could use his legs in this game to get them going. And I'm not going to count New England totally out. If I'm a defender, I'm like, look, I want the shutout. I don't want these guys scoring points on us, because they can't. And if we change up our defense, and let's say just right now, for the sake of conversation, let's have a little fun. New England goes down.
Spoofing or this hacking is very serious. The reason why it's RF is the buzzword, radio frequency hacking. Okay, now they can do it. There's different ways they can get into your home. Okay, it's not just to mess up your camera, because people have smart locks and they're like, this is cool, I can lock my car when I'm in the, or I can unlock my house when I'm in the Virgin Islands. Well, that's a cool thing, don't get me wrong, but if you have a hacker, they can do it too. I don't know if they would use radio frequency in that case, but there are buzzwords right now about RF hacking. That's radio frequency hacking. And is that what's going on? Yeah, I think so. And I don't know how I was being targeted, but in the Google, it states that a malicious actor using radio frequency to manipulate devices, okay? Basically like sticking and things like that. Manipulating a device to make it deceiving. And that can affect your job. It can affect, it doesn't matter if it's a menial job or you're a corporate or you're the president of the United States, it can affect. And radio frequency is one way for sure. It's called radio frequency hacking, and radio signal injection hacking is a buzzword. They can go through the radio. And there's probably ways they can also disrupt Wi-Fi, and they can try to get into your home as well if you have smart locks. You have to watch out. You want to get a company that specializes in encryption Wi-Fi. And there is a company that was invented a little bit after the Civil War. They worked with the telegraph. They were the first burglar alarms of all time. And they're probably the leaders in it. And Google has put about $450 million or even more money into their company recently. Not very long ago. 2020 is not that long ago. And bought stakes with them and has merged with them. And they are probably the leaders in inventing, or at least building these encryption devices to block these radio frequencies and radio signal injection too. And will they be working with cars? Maybe in the future, possibly, because cars are also acceptable to getting hacked, you know. And ever since I've been talking about this tonight, you know, it's been acting way differently since I've been accessing and exploring different aspects of things. I know how to override this now. I'll show you.
Here for Seattle, scored double-digit downs. Ken Walker's up to 24 carries for 130 yards. And so, especially if Walker gets a touchdown here, he'd be your MVP. The two quarterbacks, Darnold, 18 of 37, 199 and a touchdown, and Drake May, 13 of 26, 143. He's been sacked 5 times, and the thing about Drake May is 2 of those, for the 143 yards, net 104. Hell, two of those no, Drake May, that was not a great throw. It's kind of a Hail Mary-ish kind of a thing. Julian Love could have made a fair catch on that, but that's going to keep New England in the game, though, because 22-7, you get 2 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion. Now, are they going to be able to get that? Well, it depends. Is Mike McDonald going to play aggressive defense? Or is he going to play soft again, which the only drive that New England scored was after the A.J. Barter touchdown, and New England was like, or Seattle was like, we're good. And I think that probably cost him a shutout because New England wasn't doing anything against him. And then they went back. The MVP, I don't believe, has the most postseason points in NFL history now. What is he at? 2? They just showed it. 202? Is that what they said? 202? In a postseason? 202? So there you go. And he adds to it 205. So 26-yarder, Seattle leads 22-7.
The car. Share every mind, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30.
All right, Zap Kitchen on the way. 9:06 arrival. 6 minutes. 1.9 for the pickup. So if you don't understand it, it's okay. All you would do is you replace something on YouTube. It could be anything. YouTube seems to work fine for me. It may be another app. I did it on Sales Rabbit. It worked on Sales Rabbit too. But you play something on, basically on YouTube, and you hit mode. It knocks it back in line, and that's basically, that would be the security feature if a big company, like let's say like ADT or something, needed to know about it, and they were hacking cars. That might be something that they would need to know in this particular radio signal injection frequency or whatever it's going on with the radio. So basically, you have to watch something on the media device, like let's just say YouTube. Just watching like a movie, or it can be a video or a vlog or whatever. Boom, you hit mode, and it immediately goes to radio. Then this device begins to work better. Okay? All right, it's saying 500 feet. There's Zap. Finally, the Patriots get 1 score. Seattle's good. They got a few more. Looks like they had a few touchdowns. All right, it looks like Seattle got 5 field goals and 2 touchdowns. And now it looks like that the Patriots got their 1 touchdown. So, looks like it's going to the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks, they won the Super Bowl 60. Say it's really easy. You just mess with the radio, and it makes the radio injection frequency hacking or the faulty monitor, because it could be either or. I'm not saying it's just radio signal injection hacking. It could be. I mean, it's to important people that might be the case. That's the wrong direction, buddy. And he's going to turn right in front of me and hit the curb. Okay. Maybe, but it is still a malfunction. Okay, so let's just say it's malfunctioning, because you don't want to sound too paranoid. But I'm reading about it. I'm like, oh, there's radio signal injection hacking. So, who would have that ability to do that? I don't know. You have to. That's how you'd find them. You find out the hacker, finding out the ability of who would be able to do it. That's how you find out the hacker. Okay. Now, Could the hacker be sued? Yeah. That you have, if you could prove, you could sue them to high court. You could sue them for a lot. If you went into another company, like say Starbucks, you went behind the register in Starbucks and started messing up like their coffee maker, could Starbucks sue you? Yeah, Starbucks could, because that's Starbucks business. Every single one of these people that are the delivery services, that's their business. It'd be like going into, it's borderline robbery almost, but it's hacking. It's like people do it, they can do it to be annoying. Now, is it just a malfunction? If it is a malfunction, there's a way past it. And the way past it is, I'm using either Sales Rabbit or YouTube to pull up. And I'll show it on my iPhone 11 eventually. I'll bring the iPhone 11 in. I've shown a few shows. And I'll bring the iPhone 11 and show you the process. You just watch something and you play it. You can hear it and everything. You're connected in, everything like normal. And this basically, whether it's stuck or not, I don't know if it matters. And then you hit mode, right? If I hit mode now, it'll say unavailable. Now, I'm going to cut because I'm going to pull up my YouTube and watch it. And I'm going to hit mode again and I'll show you.
Seattle has dominated this defensively. New England came out very aggressively against the pass. And at the end of this whole thing, JSN, they really...
It resets this.
JSN at the end of this thing. I mean, the sad thing for New England is, without all these turnovers, and look, that's part of the game. Defensively, if you just talk about defensively, they're going to get overshadowed. But New England played a good defensive game. And they gave up touchdowns all off turnovers.
Basically resets it.
And then, of course, you got the...
then you can go back and, listen to SoundCloud or whatever it is that you wanted to do. So you go here, you go back through here. So it's an annoying thing that's going on. If I find the hacker, I will see you in court, and you're going to pay a pretty penny. Go to like Audible, whatever. And this is a new chord, so I'd be able to, let's say, I want to listen to, let's say, I like Pride and Prejudice, okay?
This is Audible.
There we go.
Pride and Prejudice,
and we're back
by Jane
into
Austen.
this. The way to access it, I wouldn't do Audible,
Volume 1.
but what I would do is I would do YouTube. It's a bigger program, and then I would also switch over to radio, basically, and then back into it. I'll show you on the iPhone 11. I figured it out tonight. Don't ask me how I did it.
This truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered as the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters.
Look, man, you got to hang... Went through that, got through Marcus Jones' hands, and I don't know how, but they were undercutting all these routes, and they're saying to themselves, look, we got to get Sam Darnold rattled a little bit. We got to get Pick here. When they turn the football over, Seattle struggles.
It's like someone went in a heyday with the have a great day. right, thanks for the $1.50 tip. Roundhouse, 9:44, 4 minutes, 1 month. Pretty nice. Rogers Roundhouse, 1003, 2.6.
Afford to get wrong. And in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes.
All right. Grocery warehouse on our way. 1010, 3, 1.4. All right. 10:32 arrival, 17 minutes, 7.9 for the delivery. All right. The Seattle Seahawks have won the 60th Super Bowl, 29-13. Patriots lost. I'll see if it'll let me show you what it looks like. So if this thing sticks, which it's not sticking right now, you hit radio like this. It'll go to the radio. It won't do it when you're recording, so I have to do it with the iPhone 11. You go to the radio, it shows the radio, and then you go back to media like that, and it switches back. Because it's engaged in video recording, it doesn't show that. But I can go with the iPhone 11 and show it. So you just hit radio, wait a moment, and then you hit media, and it resets. And it lasts a good amount of time, maybe like an hour or two. But you got to watch over it, though. Now, I have some theories. People probably have devices that release radio frequencies, where it's basically radio signal injection hacking, and it just overrides. It's like a device that goes off, and it overrides some of these systems. So you go to the radio, and it either engages or disengages with that frequency, or it gets the frequency right. Then you go back to media, and then it goes back to here. But if I'm not recording, it'll actually do it. So when recording, I think it's engaged with a USB. So, but I can get the radio going. You see the radio right there, 105.
Yep, just in the text. Text METER to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation.
Got a pretty good one at Chili's, 1046 4, 1.1 for the pickup. Rum. All right, last one for tonight. All All right, last one for tonight. We're going to head back to feed Kitty. So we're doing late night car wash. Price $265 for regular, and after the discount, you're only getting it for $255. There's Kitty. There'll be no ice water in hell. You go with today's kitty. 1 kitty, 9 lives. Each life has a number. Numbers 1 through 9. Swirl the cat food. Pick a cat food. Fancy feast, salmon feast, and gravy grilled. Come on, kitty. Didn't have time to move that time. Here we go. That should be an ample amount right there. There you go, kitty. Okay. I'm basically going to start to boil this, adding spinach, bell pepper for vitamin C, and beta carotene for the carrots right here. And then what I'll do next is I'll probably add this right here and go for about a 3-minute cook. For protein, we'll have tuna inside of it. Because my wife just loves me. And we'll have this tuna right here. Okay. Then we'll add some of this to it. It's about 3 minutes of cooking, so we'll put 3 minutes right there. At a cocktail party, you're like, hey, baby, what you got there? A martini? I got myself some chunk-like tuna. Take the protein, just put that in there. Kitty gets a little bit. Come on, kitty. There you go, kitty. And welcome, people, to my table. Back to the old ramen noodle. I've been eating pretty healthy. I've been going to Jason's Deli and eating all the, gardens, vegetable, stuff. And, egg whites for protein. But this is what happens to a person in certain situations to save money. So you can probably figure out why, but I don't have to get into all the details. Anyway, it does save money because a ramen noodle is only sometimes 40 cents. It can be as cheap as 17 cents at Albertsons. And then usually the tuna is like $1. So this is like $1.50 meal. If with the veggies, maybe $3 or $4 because you have to add the veggies. But that's what I have to do. And then I'm going to put some of this in it for sauce, which is buffalo It's like a buffalo sauce to make it kind of spicy. And well, I'll probably get some pepper too. Some this stuff, which is like a lemon pepper, and then I've got just regular black pepper. And I'm trying to get it to cool down there. So let's see what's on television. Oh, tea. Made some tea. There I am. Let's see what's on. All right, boring news. I'll probably watch some of that. Charged by Goats at Disney Kingdom. There's Linda and I with a song called Play on Words. Field of Dreams, Casey. Hollywood is Dying. We'll find something. Probably maybe the news. All right, gotta find. Let's see. Actually pretty good. Not too bad. I like ramen with souped up stuff on it. And a little bit more of this stuff right here. Now we can enjoy the meal that you're given. Enjoy it, because that's a way that we thank God for what he gives us. But enjoy it while you can. Enjoy it now while you can. But in heaven, you will eat a feast, and your enemy will be watching. So, it says in Psalms, prepares a feast before thine enemy.